Hello, dear DSC candidates. Welcome back to my Grammar for Success channel. I am Koresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In this video, I am going to explain all about the questions given in the AP DSC School Assistant English 2025 question paper part 2. In this part 2 video, you are going to find as many as 50 questions. Okay, the answers for all these 50 questions are going to be given in this video. And in the first video, I have explained about the 70 questions, and in this video I am going to explain about the remaining 50 questions. And I request all of you to pay a very good attention to these questions and their answers, because in these 50 questions, 4 or 5 questions are not correct according to the given key by the government, and therefore I request all of you to pay a very good attention to these questions. Okay, if I explain anything in a wrong way, if I give any wrong answer, please make a mention of it in the comment section. Now let us look at the questions given in this second part of the video. Right, 111th question. The question is like this: take the ashes of the mill and sprinkle them on the withered trees. This is a statement, and this statement has been taken from the story The Cherry Tree, written by Ruskin Bond. Okay, and what is the examiner asking you to do? Choose the passive form of the sentence above. That means he is asking you to choose the passive form of this sentence from the given options. So that is what he is asking you to do. Okay, and before you look at the options, in order to choose the correct option, okay, let us observe this sentence carefully. If you can observe this sentence carefully, this sentence is beginning with a base form verb, and therefore it is an imperative sentence. And what is the object used here? You question the verb with what? Take what? The ashes of the mill. So this is the object, right? And next, one more sentence is also attached to that. What is that? Sprinkle. This is another verb. Okay, take the ashes of the mill and sprinkle. These two verbs are used, and them is there. This them is referring to this object. Sprinkle them on the withered trees. So here, on the withered trees is the remaining sentence or the etc. sentence. Okay, and now let us change this imperative sentence into passive voice. Whenever you want to change the imperative sentence into passive voice, you must use what? Let. You must begin the passive form of the imperative sentence with let. So here you pay attention, let is there. Okay, and then object of the sentence must be used here. The ashes of the mill. The ashes of the mill. The ashes of the mill. Okay, afterwards what should you do? You must use the past participle form of the verb. How? Using this be. With be, you have to write the past participle form of this verb. What is the past participle form of the verb? Take, taking, took, taken. So this taken must be used here. Past participle form. Be taken. And afterwards second sentence and is there, and here sprinkle, this verb is also there, and this verb should also be turned into the past participle form of the verb. What is the past participle form of the verb? Sprinkled. Sprinkle, sprinkling, sprinkled, sprinkled. So this is the past participle form of the verb. This is also the past participle form of the verb. After writing the second verb, what should you do? You need not write the second object again, because it is referring to the first object, and therefore you need not mention it again. So you drop it. And what is the remaining sentence here? On the, okay, let me write here, on the withered, okay, on the withered trees. So this must be your answer. This is how you change this imperative sentence into passive voice. Let the ashes of the mill be taken and sprinkled on the withered trees. Okay, and the second object is dropped because it will be a repetition of the object, and therefore it is dropped. You know that very well. And this should be your answer. And let us check whether this answer is there in the given options or not. Okay, let us see that here. Okay, and here you pay attention. Take the ashes of the mill and should be sprinkled by them on the withered trees. No. He is using the verb as it is, therefore this is wrong. And you go to the second one. The ashes of the mill should be taken, that's right. Should be sprinkled, 2 times he is using should be taken, should be sprinkled by the withered trees. No, this is also not the right one. And here, take the ashes of the mill to be sprinkled by them. Where is the Okay, the first verb is in the active voice, the second verb is put in the passive voice. Take the ashes of the mill to be sprinkled by them on the withered trees. No, this is also wrong. So first one, second one, third one are grammatically quite incorrect. Meaningfully also quite incorrect. They don't even give the correct meaning also. Okay, right. And here you look at the fourth one. The ashes of the mill should be taken and sprinkled on the withered trees. So here this is not actually correct according to the grammatical rules. This is only the correct one according to the grammatical rules, but this is not the correct one. Even then, here the meaning of this active voice is expressed here, they too in the passive voice. The meaning of this sentence is expressed in this fourth sentence, that too in the passive voice. Here you see the ashes of the mill should be taken, passive voice. Should be sprinkled, need not repeat, but say should be taken and sprinkled, passive voice, on the withered tree. So here the examiner has not changed this sentence as it is into passive voice, but he has changed only the meaning of this sentence into passive voice. Therefore, first one, second one, third one are wrong. Only this fourth one looks to be the correct option. Fourth one is only the correct answer. Okay, and now let's move on to other questions. 112th question. So this is given totally in the red color because this is absolutely wrong. Okay, and you don't get any answer for this. Okay, if you raise an objection for this question, definitely you might get 1 mark for this. Okay, and here you pay attention. One of the following is not a reason why Jimmy's criminal activities are surprising to Bob. You know very well about the story. This is Jimmy Wells and this is Bob. Okay, you know very well. And these were very close friends 20 years ago. They just got themselves separated with a promise that they should meet after 20 years at that fixed place and all that. And here this Jimmy Wells becomes a police officer. Afterwards, this Jimmy Wells becomes a police officer. This Bob becomes a wanted criminal. He becomes a wanted criminal. But what is the question here? Why Jimmy's criminal activities? So this is a police officer. How can he get himself engaged in the criminal activities? So here the roles have been changed. The entire questioning is quite wrong, and therefore you cannot get the correct answer for this question. And here you look at the options given from after 20 years, you know very well. And here Bob was unaware of Jimmy's criminal activities. Is Jimmy engaged in criminal activities? So this name should have been here and this name should have been here. But the entire question has been given in a wrong way. And therefore, I have put it in red color. You raise objection for this question with the authorities concerned. Therefore, I have left it. I have not mentioned anything here because the entire question is wrong. Its options are also wrong. Okay. Now, let's move on to other questions. 113th question. Choose the correct type of verb that requires a direct object to complete its meaning. Okay. What is that? What is the type of verb that takes a direct object means? You know very well. There are two kinds of verbs. Okay. Transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. You know very well. A transitive verb takes an object after it. An intransitive verb does not take an object after it. So in this way, there are two kinds of verbs in the English grammar. You know that very well. And here, and is asking you to choose that verb that takes a direct object. And what is that verb called? Intransitive verb? No. Latin verb? No. Modal verb? No. But only a transitive verb. Therefore, your answer is the third one because only the transitive verb will take an object after it to complete its meaning. Right. You go to the next question, 114th question. Choose the situation in which hold on to is appropriate. That means, you know, what is that situation in which this hold on to is appropriately used? Hold on to means what? To maintain, what is that? To maintain adherence to. Adherence to. That means, you know, sticking to something. You are now sticking to something. Antipettukoni unduta. So that is the meaning of this phrasal verb. Here, the examiner is asking you to choose that sentence from the given options in which this meaning is used. అంటిపెట్టుకునుట అనేటటువంటి మీనింగ్ను వాడినటువంటి సెంటెన్స్ ఏది అంటున్నాడు. హియర్ యు పే అటెన్షన్. ఏ టీమ్ కొలాబరేట్స్ టు అచీవ్ ఎ గోల్. సో ఇన్ ద వెరీ ఫస్ట్ వన్ యూ కెన్ ఫైండ్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ phrasal verb. What is that? Collaborate. Collaborate means working together, sticking to something. Whenever you collaborate, sticking to something, what is that? You can achieve a goal, and therefore the meaning of this phrasal verb can be found in this first part, in this sentence. A team collaborates to achieve a goal. Okay, a person gives up on his dreams. No. A student procrastinates on assignments. No. Procrastinate means delays. A student delays on assignments. Okay, no. A company replaces outdated technology. So in these three options, the meaning of this phrasal verb is not used, and therefore second one, third one, fourth one are wrong. Only the first one is your answer. Right, now you move on to other questions. 115th question. What is that? Bacon describes his own style of writing. You know very well. He described that his style of writing was very concise, direct, and weighty with full meaning and all that. In one of the essays, he himself has acknowledged that. Okay, and here you pay attention. Ornate and flowery. No. Ornate means decorative, and flowery. Ornate and flowery means decorative. Okay. Bombastic and all that. No. Austere and brief. Yes, austere means very serious, and brief, very short and pithy and all that. Okay, austere and brief, that is the correct one. Rambling means confusing, and verbose means full of words but no meaning at all. To express the meaning of something small, using many more words, so that is called verbose. ఒక చిన్న విషయాన్ని చెప్పడానికి ఇన్ని మాటలు వాడడం, so that is called verbose. And here rambling means confusing. Rambling and verbose. No. Overly simplistic. Overly means excessively simplistic. No. So here first one, third one, fourth one are absolutely wrong, and is Bacon's style of writing is austere and brief, and therefore second one is your answer. And you go to the next question, 116th one. Select the incorrect step in changing a command from direct speech to indirect speech. When you change a command from direct speech into indirect speech, this step is incorrect. What is that step that is incorrect means? Here you pay attention. Look at the options. Adjust the pronouns in the reported speech. This is a correct step, therefore this is dropped. Use a reporting verb like asked. This is a correct step, therefore this is dropped. Maintain the original form of the imperative form. So this is also the correct step, therefore this is dropped. And you look at the fourth one. Convert the command form into a question. This is not the correct step, therefore this is only the incorrect step in changing a command from the direct speech into indirect speech. So you cannot change this command form into a question in the indirect speech. The command form is as it is. It cannot be changed into the question form, and therefore this fourth one is only the wrong one, and that is only your answer, because here in this question he is asking you for the incorrect step. This is only the incorrect step, and therefore this is your answer. Now you move on to other questions. 117th question. Choose the most accurate description of education according to the passage. Okay, according to the passage means actually this passage was given in the 43rd question. That 43rd question was explained in the first video. According to the passage that was given there, so this question is posed here. What is that? In that 43rd question, I have clearly explained all about that philosophy of education and all that. Okay, and here you pay attention. Choose the most accurate description of education. What is the most accurate description of education according to that passage means? Education solely refers to the teaching and the learning of specific skills. Now only teaching and learning specific skills itself is not the philosophy of education. Okay, therefore this is wrong. And here go to the second one. Education encompasses means includes the imparting of knowledge, the giving of knowledge, the giving of judgment, the giving of wisdom, along with teaching specific skills. The real education will include, along with teaching specific skills, the imparting of knowledge, judgment and wisdom. And therefore this is clearly mentioned in that passage. You please refer to that passage, right? And education is limited to the societal institution. Education on education. No, this is the wrong one. Education focuses only on the process of learning. No. So here first one, third one, fourth one are wrong. Only the second one is the right one. Now you move on to other questions. 118th question. ESLP stands for. So ESLP is an abbreviation. What does it stand for? Here you pay attention. English as a second language program. The very first one is the right one. English as a speaker's language program. No. English as a standard language purpose. No. English as a second language purpose. No. So all these three are wrong. Only the first one is the right one. Now you move on to the next question. 119th question. Choose the sentence that describes an action that had already happened before another past action. One action happened before another action. That means, there are two actions. First action, second action. This is the first past action. This is the second past action. So remember, the first past action must always be placed in the past perfect tense. The second past action must be placed in the simple past tense. That is always there. This rule you must have learnt. So here I wrote a letter. First past action. I posted it. Second past action. When you combine these two sentences, what do you say? After first past action. So after I had written. First past action ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా past perfect tense లో చెప్పవలే. There is a grammatical rule. Okay. After I had written a letter. Second past action, simple past tense. I posted it. This is how the language works. Okay, these are the grammatical rules. So here he is asking you to find out that sentence which has these two qualities: first past action, second past action. Okay, and let us look at the options. He had already eaten lunch when she arrived. The very first one is the right one. So this is the first past action. This is the second past action. Her arrival happened later on. But his eating of lunch happened earlier than the second action. So this is the first action, this is the second action. So the first action is put in the past perfect tense, and the second past action is put in the simple past tense. That is that. And here, by tomorrow afternoon she will know. They will live, they have lived, no. Present perfect, no. She cooks, simple present, no. So second, third, fourth are absolutely wrong. And only the first one is the right one. Okay. And now you move on to other questions. 120th question. Choose the sentence with right word order. So right word order. What is that? Let us look at that. Is how far your town from here? No. How far your town from here is? No. How far your town is from your town? No. How far is your town from here? See, the fourth one is the right one. How far? This is a WH question. How far? How long? How many times? All these things will come under WH words, WH questions. So after that, helping verb must be used. After that, subject must be used, and the remaining sentence. So therefore, how far is your town from here? So therefore, this sentence is absolutely correct. In this sentence only, the words are arranged or put in a grammatical order, and therefore this fourth one is only your answer. Now you move on to the next question. 121st question. Whenever I put this number in the red color, think that the answer of that question in the key was given in a wrong way. Here you pay attention. The following is not a salient feature of prescriptive or formal grammar. Prescriptive means what? That which prescribes rules. Prescriptive grammar means prescribing grammar rules. So what is this prescriptive grammar? This prescriptive grammar teaches strict rules about how the language should be spoken. That's the first thing. This teaches the strict rules about how the language should be spoken, and it lays emphasis on the written language, and it teaches grammar in a systematic and logical manner, and it discourages the flexibility. That means it demands only the correct usage. No flexibility is there. For example, where you are going is wrong. But this prescriptive grammar says that you should say, where are you going? So it demands for the correct use of grammar rules and all that. So therefore, this grammar is called prescriptive grammar or formal grammar and all that. Now you have understood the four features of this prescriptive grammar. And now, what are the options given here? You see, not a salient feature. See, it follows the importance of written language. Yes, it's an important feature. It emphasizes the importance of written language. Yes. It presents language in a logical order. Yes. But it encourages flexible adherence to rules. That means, no, you can be flexible in the following of rules. If you want to speak the English language as you please, that's called flexibility. It encourages flexibility. No, it discourages flexibility. It discourages flexibility. But here it encourages flexibility. Therefore, this is not a salient feature. The first one is right, the second one is right, fourth one is right. So they are all there. Therefore, they are dropped. And this is only not the salient feature of this prescriptive grammar. And therefore, third one is your answer. All others are wrong. Now, you move on to other questions. 122nd question. Again, this question number is also put in red color. That means the answer I am going to give you for this question is different from the answer given in your official key. Okay, and select the correct statement about the two types of grammar. So some two types of grammar he has mentioned here. Formal grammar is also known as descriptive grammar. No, formal grammar is not known as descriptive grammar. This is wrong. Formal grammar is also known as prescriptive grammar. But here descriptive is there. Therefore this is wrong. Formal grammar is also called prescriptive grammar. Prescriptive grammar. This is also this one. This is also known as prescriptive grammar. But here descriptive is there. This is therefore wrong. You know about this prescriptive grammar? This is prescriptive grammar focuses on how the language should be spoken. Whereas this descriptive grammar is there. It focuses on how the language is used by the people. This prescriptive grammar instructs the people to say, it is I. When somebody is knocking at the door, what do you say? Hey, who is that? Who is knocking at the door? Who is that? Who is knocking at the door? Then the person who is knocking at the door will say, it is I. Nenandi, nenu. It is I. It is I anamani చెప్తుంది prescriptive grammar. కానీ descriptive grammar ఏం చెప్తుంది? It observes that most of the people say it is me. ప్రజలందరూ ఇట్ ఈస్ మీ అంటారా బాబు అని ఈ డిస్క్రిప్టివ్ గ్రామర్ నీతో చెబుతుంది. ఇంగ్లీష్ ఎలా మాట్లాడాలో ఇది చెప్తుంటే డిస్క్రిప్టివ్ గ్రామర్ ఏం చెప్తుంది? ఇంగ్లీష్ ప్రజలు ఎలా మాట్లాడతారో చెబుతుంది. ఇగో ఇలా మాట్లాడతారు ప్రజలు. So try to understand the difference between these two types of grammar. Okay. Second option is there. Functional grammar focuses on prescriptive rules. Now, this is also not the correct one because this functional grammar does not focus on prescriptive rules because functional grammar is descriptive and it emphasizes how language works in communication. Formal grammar is practical and usage based. No, it is because formal grammar is theoretical and it is rule based, not usage based, and therefore this option is also wrong. First one, second one, third one, these three options are gone. And now you look at the fourth option. Functional grammar emphasizes theoretical definitions. So this is only the correct option because this functional grammar is indeed a theoretical approach, okay, but its emphasis is on the practical functions of the language in real life context, and therefore this fourth option is only the right option, okay, and this is the right one, and this fourth option is only the right option. Now you move on to other questions. 123rd question. This is also again put in the red color. That means the answer I am going to show you is different from the answer given in the official key. You know, identify the correct statement about the goals within a curriculum. What are the goals within a curriculum? Here you pay attention. Goals are only for teachers' reference. No, the goals are not just for teachers. They are also meant for students. Okay, therefore this is wrong. Okay, wrong statement. He is asking for correct statement. Therefore this wrong statement. Goals provide a sequence for teacher planning. Oh, absolutely correct. Goals always provide a sequence. A sequence means an order for teacher planning. Therefore this is a correct statement. And you go to the next one. And these are the options given. Goals are only for teachers reference. No, this is not the right one, correct statement, because goals are meant not only for teachers but also for learners. Therefore, this statement is wrong. Okay, goals provide a sequence for teacher and teacher planning. So the second one is absolutely correct. This is only the correct statement because goals provide a sequence. A sequence means an order, okay, for teacher planning, okay, right. And goals are unrelated to teaching and learning. So this is absolutely wrong because goals are fundamental to teaching and learning, right? And goals are not necessary for curriculum development. This is also wrong because goals are absolutely necessary or essential for curriculum development. So therefore, the first one, third one, fourth one, these are the incorrect statements or wrong statements. Only the second one is the right statement. Therefore, your answer is the second one. Now you move on to the next question. 124th question. Identify the technique that would be incompatible with the principles of the grammar translation method. You know very well about this grammar translation method, and this grammar translation method is meant for reading, writing and translating. This method deals only with those three things. And what is that technique that would be incompatible with it? Means, here you pay attention. Translating paragraphs into the mother tongue? No. Translating is there with grammar translation method, not incompatible with it. Memorizing vocabulary? No. And here learning grammatical rules deductively? No. So these are all compatible with this grammar translation method. ఇవన్నీ కూడా గ్రామర్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ మెథడ్ కి అనుకూలమైన, దే ఆర్ కంపాటబుల్ విత్ దిస్ మెథడ్. Whereas this third one is there, practicing sentence structures through dialogue. So this can be found only in the direct method. Okay, teaching the target language in the target language itself. So in that direct method you can come across this practicing of sentence structures through dialogue. So therefore this is only the technique, this is only the point that is incompatible with this grammar translation method, and therefore this third one is your answer. All others are wrong ones. Now let's move on to other questions. 125th question. Identify the statement that best distinguishes between persuasive and descriptive writing. So there are two kinds of writing in practice, okay, and one is persuasive writing, the other one is descriptive writing. So the names themselves are telling you their meaning. Here persuasive means persuading, persuading means convincing. That means this persuasive writing aims to convince the reader of a particular opinion or belief or action through arguments or using arguments. So that is therefore called persuasive writing. And descriptive writing is there. Descriptive writing aims to paint a picture, okay, with words without using arguments. Okay, this is only the difference between these two kinds of writing. And here you pay attention, what is the statement that best distinguishes. So here persuasive writing is more emotional, very good. Descriptive writing is more fact based and visual, right? The very first one is the right one. Okay, this is only the statement that can best distinguish between persuasive and descriptive writing, because persuasive writing is more emotional, descriptive writing is more fact based and visual. And here descriptive writing includes advertising. Okay, in the descriptive writing advertising is there, and persuasive writing is limited to biography, but it is not the kind. It is okay with this, but it is not okay with, therefore this is gone. And here descriptive writing uses commands, okay, persuasive writing avoids opinions. So here both are wrong. And descriptive writing uses commands, no. Persuasive writing avoids opinions, no. Therefore this is wrong. Both are interchangeable for personal letters, no. So here second one, third one, fourth one are absolutely wrong, and only the first one is the correct one, correct statement. Okay, and now you move on to other questions. 126th question. Choose the type of language laboratory that uses computer language lab software. What is that language laboratory called here? Here you pay attention. Traditional laboratory? No. Linguaphone laboratory? No. Computer assisted language laboratory, that is called CALL, call. So this is on the right one. And dial access lab? No. So this one is only the laboratory that uses computers and language lab software. And here 127th question, choose the type of assessment that prioritizes constructivist approach. So what is that type of assessment that prioritizes constructivist approach means? Before you choose the correct option, let me give you some idea about this constructivist approach. What is this constructivist approach? This constructivist approach focuses on active, collaborative, and group-based learning. It helps the students or the learners build their own knowledge, construct their own knowledge. So it's a wonderful approach, you know very well. And here, choose the type of assessment. What type of assessment is made use of in this approach means? Only here you pay attention. Memorization test, no. Group discussions are there because it is a group based learning is there. Active learning, group based learning, collaborative learning will be there in this, and therefore group discussions will be more in this. Therefore group discussions is there. And passive listening, no. Teacher centered test, no. So only group discussions can be found in this constructivist approach. That is only the type of assessment that prioritizes the constructivist approach. Now you move on to other questions. 128th question. Again, this number is put in red color. That means the answer of this question is different from the answer given in the official key. And here you pay attention. According to the information, the following method is more suitable when the aim of learning English is communication purpose. So when the aim of learning English is for communication purpose, what are the options given here? Grammar translation method. So this grammar translation method does not focus on communication. It only focuses on reading, writing, and translating. On these three things only it focuses. And this inductive method is there. It is a way of teaching grammar. So this does not focus on communication. Therefore this is gone. And this direct method is there. It focuses on communication. And natural method is also there. It also focuses on communication. So these two methods will focus on communication. But what is better than the other means here, let us go with only direct method, because this direct method is more explicitly known as the communicative classroom method, and this natural method is there. This is more of an approach for acquiring the second language, and therefore we go only with the direct method, and this method only is for communication purpose. So your answer is not the first one, third one, fourth one, only the second one. Right. Okay. And now you move on to the next question. 129th question. The main purpose of generative questions is, okay, and the question is very interesting. Generative questions means, in other words, open-ended questions. Okay, open-ended questions are thought-provoking questions, and they are designed to create critical thinking. So what is the purpose of those generative questions means? To test vocabulary and grammar? No. To direct classroom procedures? No. To review knowledge and information? No. But only to simulate critical thinking. That means the generative questions are designed only to simulate critical thinking. Okay, to make a person think critically about something. That is only the purpose of the generative questions. Therefore, this third one is only your answer. And now you move on to the next question. And 130th question. Choose the characteristic that involves the ability of a test to provide consistency results when administered by different individuals. Here, these are the options. Consistency is not the correct one. It's a general term. And validity is not the right one. Practicability is also not the right one. Only reliability is the correct answer, because this reliability refers to the consistency of a test's results when administered by different individuals. Whoever may conduct that test, the result will be the same. So it ensures the same result, the same outcome. So even when administered by different individuals. So that means, reliability refers to the consistency of a test's results. Okay, validity is there. It refers to whether the test is measuring what is intended to be measured. Okay, that is there. And this practicability is there. Practicability means it refers to whether the test is practicable. in terms of cost, time, and administration and all that. So therefore, consistency is a general term, it is gone, and validity is not the right one. Practicability is not the right one. Only reliability is the right one. That is only the characteristic that tells us about the consistency of a test's results, right? And therefore, third one is only the right one. Now we move on to the next question. 131st question. Instructional planning helps teachers achieve. Instructional planning. What is this instructional planning? Establishing connections with the learners. That is called instructional planning. That means, when the teachers are going to instruct the students in the classrooms or in the school, what happens? They must maintain some very good connection with the learners. Then only the teachers can be successful in their teaching, in their imparting education to their wards, to their students and all that. And therefore, that helps teachers achieve establishing connections with the learners, visualizing the future now, developing a unit plan now, ignoring learner needs now. So therefore, the first one is the right one and all others are the wrong ones. Now you move on to other questions. 132nd question. Choose the correct statement about language education in the classroom. So what is the correct statement about language education in the class means? It should be an impediment to learning. No, it's not the correct one. So that means, language education in the classroom should be an impediment. No, it should not be an impediment. Impediment means hindrance or hurdle to learn. Okay, therefore this is wrong, and it should be tied to specific syllabi. No, this language education in the class should not be tied to specific syllabus or syllabi. Okay, and evaluation should be primarily focused on memorization. No, so these three things are not the correct statements about language education in the classroom. But this second one is there. Ongoing assessment can be based on a portfolio mode. A portfolio mode is nothing but a recognized mode of assessment. So that's why this ongoing assessment. What is this ongoing assessment? The formative assessment. The formative assessment means the continuous assessment. So that formative assessment can be based on a portfolio mode. On a portfolio mode means on a recognized method. So the correct statement about language education in the classroom is only ongoing assessment can be made on a portfolio mode. So the second one is the right one. All others are the wrong ones. Okay, and now you move on to other questions. 133rd question. What is this 133rd question? The correct statement. Again, he is asking you to choose the correct statement about the three language formula. So you all know very well about this three language formula, and here you pay attention. This three language formula, it is adapted to India's monolingual situation. So in India, you don't find one language. If there is one language, that is called monolingual. So it is adapted to India's monolingual situation. So in India, you don't find only one language. You can find multi-languages, many languages. So therefore, this is not the right one. It encourages the exclusion of regional languages. No, this three language formula does not exclude the regional languages. Okay, and next, it aims to develop proficiency in only one language. No, this three language formula does not intend to develop proficiency only in one language. Therefore, this is also wrong. First one, second one, third one, three are gone and wrong. And here you look at the fourth one. It is adapted to India's multilingual context, because in India you can find so many languages. More than 20 languages are there spoken by the people of this country. Okay, it is adapted to India's multilingual context for language education. So this three language formula, okay, is adapted only to India's multilingual context, and therefore this fourth one is only the correct statement out of these four options given here. So therefore your answer is the fourth one. Now you move on to the next question. 134th question. Select the correct meaning of the Latin word currere. You know that very well. Currere. Currere. This is how you have to pronounce this word. Okay, currere. This currere is a Latin word that means to run. Okay, to run is the meaning of that verb currere, and it is the root word for curriculum. This is the root word for curriculum. And here you pay attention, a sequence of planned experiences. So this is only the meaning of this Latin word currere, because currere is the root word for curriculum. Curriculum means what? A sequence of planned experiences. That means, it is nothing but the course. Curriculum is nothing but a course. Course means a sequence of planned experiences. When the planned experiences are set in a sequence, in an order, that becomes a course. And therefore, this is only the right meaning of this Latin word currere. A race course or runway? No. A set of teaching materials? No. A systematic plan for teaching? No. So the first one is only your answer. You go to the next one. 135th question. Choose the primary articulatory feature that determines the difference between pa and ba sounds. Okay. And what are the options given here? Place of articulation? No. Manner of articulation? No. Nasality? No. But only voicing. See, these two sounds, these are the two consonantal sounds. They share the same place of articulation and manner of articulation. That means, they are articulated from the same place of the mouth and they are articulated in the same manner. Therefore, these two consonantal sounds will share both the place of articulation and the manner of articulation. And they are not the nasal sounds. Okay, they are not the nasal sounds. That means the sound is not coming from the nose and they are there. Then this voicing is there. So here this P is there. It is a voiceless. Pa is a voiceless sound and this ba is what? A voiced sound. That means, when you pronounce this pa, it is voiceless. That means, the vocal cords will not vibrate. The vocal cords here will not vibrate, and that's why this is called a voiceless sound. And this ba is there, it is a voiceless sound. Because when you pronounce that word ba, so when you say ba, the vocal cords are vibrating. So this is only the difference between these two things. Pa is a voiceless sound and ba is a voiced sound, and that is only the difference between these two consonantal sounds, and therefore voicing is the right one, and that is only your answer. Okay, and all others are wrong. And now you move on to other questions. 136th one. The cognitive domain includes. What does this cognitive domain include? Before we look at the options, let me give you some idea about this cognitive domain. What is this cognitive domain? According to Bloom's taxonomy, what is that? It includes knowledge. It includes knowledge and mental skills. It includes knowledge and mental skills like remembering, understanding, evaluating, creating, and analyzing, etc. So they are all called mental skills. So this cognitive domain always includes knowledge and mental skills. Okay, and here you pay attention. Emotional aspect, therefore this is not the right one. Doing aspect, this is not the right one. Knowledge aspect, that means cognitive domain includes knowledge aspect, therefore this is the right one. Signal aspect, no. So here this emotional aspect is there. What is this emotional aspect? This belongs to affective domain. Affective domain, all feelings, emotions, and all that. So that belongs to affective domain. Doing aspect belongs to psychomotor. Okay, psychomotor domain. Okay, and this signal aspect is there. It has no domain at all, and it is given only to confuse you. So here this emotional aspect belongs to affective domain, and doing aspect belongs to psychomotor domain. This knowledge aspect belongs to cognitive domain. It is something like that. So these are all the domains and aspects. All these things you come across in your methodology, and therefore here this knowledge aspect is only the right one because this belongs to cognitive domain. And here you pay attention. 137th question. The primary role of teaching aids is. What is the primary role of teaching aids? Here you pay attention. Replace teachers entirely? No. Teaching aids don't replace teachers. Okay. Enhance teachers speaking skills? No. And facilitate learning and understanding? Yes, they facilitate learning and understanding. That is the primary role of teaching aids. Disrupt learning process? No. So therefore the primary role, the main purpose of teaching aids is not replacing teachers, not enhancing teacher speaking skills, not disrupting learner process, but only facilitating learning and understanding. And therefore your answer is the third one. Now you move on to other questions very quickly. 138th question. Identify the method that emphasizes a direct connection between experience and expression. What is that method that deals with the connection between experience and expression? Here you pay attention. Inductive method. No, this is not the right one. Inductive method is nothing but a way of teaching grammar inductively. And translation method, no, it is only a way of translating the target language into the native language target language, something. It relates only to translation and all that. Deductive means, again, it is a way of teaching grammar. This is a way of teaching grammar, this is a way of teaching grammar, this is only the way of translating some matter. So all these three things are wrong, and natural method is there. This method only emphasizes a correct connection between experience and expression. So in this, you learn, you acquire the second language, and you experience that language, and you express that language. So this experiencing and expressing, these two things can be found only in the natural method, and therefore the fourth one is the right option. Now you move on to the next question. 139th question. The following objective does not align with the use of teaching learning materials. So teaching learning materials. So in short, it is called TLMS. Okay, teaching learning materials. So what is the objective which does not align with the teaching learning materials? Means, here you pay attention. Teaching learning materials are designed to make learning permanent. Okay, this is the correct one. Relate learning to real life situation. This is also correct. Develop students' perception of context. This is also right. So, but these teaching learning materials are not designed to enhance teachers' speaking skills. So, therefore, this is only the thing that does not align with the teaching learning materials. This is only the aspect. This is only the objective that does not align with teaching learning materials. So these first one, third one, fourth one align with teaching learning materials, but only this one does not align with teaching learning materials, and therefore the second one is your answer. Now you move on to other questions. 140th question. Identify the term that refers to the measurement of the quality or value of a phenomenon with reference to standards. So with regard to standards, what is that term that measures the quality or value of something? Means, here you pay attention, that is nothing but evaluation. Evaluation is only the right one, because this evaluation refers to judging the quality, worth, and value of a learning process. So therefore it's correct. And assessment is not the correct one, because that refers to the collecting of information about the learning process. And the measurement means, that refers to the quantifying the outcomes of the learning process. And this appraisal means, a review. Okay, it's a general term. Therefore this second one, third one, fourth one are wrong. Only this evaluation is the correct one, because it refers to the judging the quality, worth, and value of a learning process, and therefore this evaluation is only your answer. You go to the next question. 141st question. Select the sub-skill that involves using appropriate words to connect, link, and sentences smoothly. So how do you connect the sentences and link the sentence smoothly? What is that sub-skill that gets involved in that? Means, here you pay attention. It's simple. Expression, no. Vocabulary, no. Cohesive devices. That means, conjunctions are the cohesive devices, and other words are there, connecting words are there. So they are called cohesive devices. Grammar, no. So therefore third one is only the right one, and cohesive devices only are the words that connect and link sentences smoothly. Right. And now you move on to the next question. 142nd question. Choose the technique that encourages students to engage in conversations as different individuals. So what is the technique which encourages students to engage in conversations as different individuals? Means, here dialogues, no. Interactive technique, no. Warmers, no. And role play, that is only there. So in this role play, what happens? No, different situations are enacted. What is this role play? Role play is nothing but a technique in which the students will act out some role. Okay, waiter and customer role, that's a role play. So here, what is that? Role play is only the technique that encourages students to engage in conversations as different individuals. Therefore the third one is the right one. Now you move on to the next question. 143rd question, and the answer of this one is also different from the one that is given in the official key. And here you pay attention, the specific aim of teaching is also known as, what is the specific aim of teaching known as? Let us look at the options given. Educational objectives are there. Educational objectives they include general, specific, and instructional objectives. General, specific, instructional objectives. And cognitive objectives refer to knowledge, comprehension, and application, and all such things. And affective objectives are there. What do they refer to? They refer to attitudes, values, feelings, at all. Attitudes, values, feelings, etc. So all these objects are, but here behavioral objectives are there. So what do? They refer to specific, okay, they specific and measurable objectives, okay. So therefore this educational objectives is not the right one, cognitive objectives is not the right one, affective objectives is not the right one, but behavioral objectives, the specific aim of teaching is also known as behavioral objectives. So therefore the second one is only your answer, right? And now let's move on to other questions. 144th question, word families involve grouping words based on their. So here word families means what? Groups of words, okay, groups of words. And how are these groups of words formed? Means here these groups of words include words, okay, these groups of words include words with different parts of speech derived from the same root. For example, here happy is there, okay, happy, okay, happiness, see, happiness, and happily, see, this is one group, happily, unhappy, okay, unhappy, unhappiness, okay, they are all called one group of words. Happy, happiness, happily, unhappy, unhappiness. So this is called a group of words, okay. And in that way many groups of words are formed in the English language. And how are they formed? Means here not according to length, the groups of words are not formed, not according to the alphabetical order, the groups of words are not formed, and according to the opposite meanings means antonyms. So according to these things also the groups of words are not formed, but only according to the similar meanings the groups of words are formed. And therefore first one, third one, fourth one are wrong, and only the second one is the right one. Now you move on to the next question. 145th question, select the incorrect statement about using materials for teaching speaking. Materials for teaching speaking. What is the incorrect statement? Let us look at the options given. Authentic clippings can be used for speaking development. So this is the correct statement, because authentic clippings, news clippings, newspaper clippings, interviews clippings, so they can improve your speaking skills, okay. Lesson plans are not relevant for teaching speaking. No, this is there, this is incorrect statement, okay. Lesson plans are not relevant. Not relevant? No, that is relevant. Therefore this is only the incorrect statement here. Listening to speaking models enhances pronunciation. When you listen to speaking by the models, the native speakers, what happens now, that will definitely enhance your pronunciation. This is also correct, okay. Correct statement. News and weather forecast aid listening skills. So this listening to news and weather forecast will also improve your listening skills. So this statement is correct, this statement is correct, this statement is correct, okay. But this statement is not the correct one. What is that statement? Lesson plans are not relevant for teaching speaking. No, but they are relevant. Therefore this is only the incorrect statement. Therefore that is only your answer. And now you move on to other questions. 146th question, the primary function of the post-active phase of teaching. That means after teaching something in the class, what function follows? That is the meaning, okay. Here you pay attention. Identifying objectives, so that is not the function that takes place in the post-active phase. No. Reflecting on learning experiences. No. Providing feedback. No. But the primary function immediately after teaching something in the class, what is that? Analyzing learner performance, okay. What is the learner's reaction? What is the learner's performance? So that is only the primary function of the post-active phase of teaching. Therefore, your answer is the second one. Right, you go to the next question. 147th question. Choose the type of vocabulary that includes words used in speaking and writing. What is that vocabulary that includes words used in speaking and writing means? Here you pay attention. Recognition vocabulary, no. And structural vocabulary, no. Complex vocabulary, no. So only production vocabulary, because this is only the vocabulary that we use actively in speaking and writing, and that is why this is called the production vocabulary. This is only the right one. And here recognition vocabulary is there. That means you only recognize that vocabulary while reading the newspaper or listening to the news over the TV. So what happens? You recognize that vocabulary. That's why that's called recognition vocabulary. Structural vocabulary is there. Structural vocabulary means there. This is the vocabulary which is very essential for the grammatical structures and all that. Okay, prepositions, so articles, conjunctions, and all such things are very, very important. So that is called structural vocabulary. Complex vocabulary means what? The vocabulary that is advanced and difficult. So in this way, there are varieties of vocabulary existing in the English language, and but the vocabulary that we use extensively in speaking and writing is only called production vocabulary. Therefore, the second one is the right one. And now you move on to other questions. 148th question. The level of psychomotor objectives at which learner becomes more efficient in accomplishing complex tasks is, what is that level of psychomotor objectives? Okay, here let us look at the options given. Here perception is there. It's not the right one. Set is not the right one. Mechanism is not the right one, but only complex overt response. Because according to Simpson's psychomotor taxonomy, the complex overt response refers to the stage where a learner can perform a complex motor task with efficiency, with what is that, accuracy and coordination. So that is why the complex overt response is only the level of psychomotor objectives at which the learner becomes more efficient in accomplishing complex tasks, and therefore your answer is the fourth one. And perception means what? It is the recognition of some sensory cues needed to carry out the motor activity. And this set is there. Set means what? Set refers to readiness to perform a task, and mechanism is what? Nothing but basic skills that help the learner perform the task with confidence. So all these things are not the level of psychomotor objectives at which the learner can become more efficient in accomplishing complex tasks, but only this complex overt response is only the correct one. Therefore, the fourth one is the right one. And now you move on to the next question, 149th question. Select the type of teaching aid that focuses on the sense of smelling. What is the teaching aid that focuses on the sense of smelling? Here you pay attention. Visual aids, tactile aids, kinesthetic aids, olfactory aids. So this visual aids is not the right one, because these aids appeal to the sense of sight. Okay, and therefore you will be able to view the videos, charts, models and all that. So that is there. Tactile aids is there. This is also not the right one, because they appeal to the sense of touch. Okay, they allow you to feel and touch and understand the things. For example, you go to a cloth shop. There, what do? You just touch the cloth and say, oh, it is smooth, it is rough, it's rugged, and so on. You go on saying, because that is called, that's called tactile aids. That's a tactile, the sense of touch. You touch the leaf, oh, it's smooth. The petal of a rose, very smooth and soft. So here this tactile aids appeal to the senses of touch. The visual aids will appeal to the sense of sight, and kinesthetic aids are there. They involve movement, bodily activity. Okay, for example, in the role play or in the physical activities, these aids will help us a lot. Therefore, this is not correct. Olfactory aids is there. So this refers to what? Sense of smell. Okay, when the teacher is teaching about the plants and flowers, what does the teacher do? She will make you see the smell of the rose flower, the lily flower, okay, the hibiscus flower, the marigold. There are varieties of flowers. All these flowers will have different smells. So while teaching about the plants and flowers, the teacher will take the help of these olfactory aids. Therefore, the type of teaching aid that focuses on the sense of smelling is only olfactory aids. Therefore, the fourth one is your right option. Now you move on to other questions. 150th question, and the number of this question is also put in red color because the answer I'm going to give you here is different from the one that is given in your official key, right? And here identify the technique that involves summarizing the main points of a text in a concise manner. So what is the technique that involves summarizing the main points of a text means? Here you pay attention. Skimming. No, skimming is there. Skimming is nothing but quickly reading. This is quickly reading. Skimming is nothing but quickly reading to grasp the gist or the overall idea of the given text. So this is not the right one. Okay. And here transformation of sentences. Transformation of sentences means change of the sentences from one category to another category. I mean to say active voice to passive voice, one mode to another mode, something like that. And scanning is there. It is also quickly searching. Quickly, this is quickly reading, this is quickly searching for the specific information. You know all these things, specific information. But this paraphrasing is there. What is this paraphrasing? This is nothing but restating what the important ideas, okay, important points, the main points of the given passage, generally in one's own words. Okay, you have to restate the main points of the passage in your own words, and moreover in a concise manner. That's a wonderful skill. Okay, and therefore the technique that involves summarizing the main points of a text is called paraphrasing. Therefore, third one is the right one. And now you move on to the next question, 151st question. According to Mackey in 1965, the grammar translation method is the simple combination of dash grammar and translation. So what should be used in this blank? Okay, here you pay attention. What is that structure? Okay, the very first one is the right one. It's a simple combination of structure of grammar, and translation, not activities, not forms, not functions. Therefore the answer is the first one. Okay, and now you move on to the next question. 152nd question. Choose the plural word that ends with the za sound. Za. Not ja, but za. Right. What is that za sound? Here you pay attention. Plates. This is sa sound. Okay. Bangles, sa sound. Okay. Spoons, sa sound. But here boxes. How do you say? Boxes, plural. Plates, sakaram. Bangles, sakaram. Spoons, sakaram. In all these three words you find only sakaram, and therefore they are dropped. But only in this word boxes, the plural form is giving you the za sound. Therefore, third one is the right one. And now you move on to the next question, 153rd question. Identify the incorrect statement about the importance of textbooks. What is the incorrect statement about the importance of textbooks? Here you pay attention. Textbooks simplify a teacher's work. Yes, that is true about the importance of textbooks. Therefore, this is dropped. Textbooks save time needed for classroom management. Yes, this is true. This is correct. Therefore, this is dropped. Textbooks help guide students' efforts in studies. Yes, this is also correct. Therefore, this is dropped. But here, textbooks are not necessary. This is not correct, and therefore this is only your incorrect statement, and that is only your answer. Third one is only your answer. And now you move on to other questions. 154th question, the level of cognitive objectives. Cognitive means pertaining to the mind. What is that objective? So that involves analysis of elements and relationships. So here you look at the options given. Knowledge. Okay, this is not the cognitive objective that involves analysis of elements. Okay, And comprehension, no. Comprehension means understanding some passage. Application means applying something to something, okay. And analysis, again, analysis is only the cognitive objective that involves the analysis of elements and the relationships. So therefore the fourth one is your correct option. And you go to the next one. 155th question. Identify the key principle of the direct method. About the direct method you know pretty well. And what is the key principle of that? Okay. And here you pay attention. Restrain the mother tongue. Restrain the mother tongue. That means preventing from the use of mother tongue. Okay, that's not that. Opportunities to learn a new vocabulary, no. Grammar is taught inductively, no, but only oral practice. So in the key principle of the direct method is only oral practice. So in this direct method, the target language is taught only in the target language itself, not in the native language or in the mother tongue. So the practice will be more in this direct method, and therefore the key principle of this direct method is only oral practice. Okay, and this only focuses on the teaching language in a natural order, right? And your answer is the second one. Now you move on to other questions. 156th question. Choose the incorrect statement about peer evaluation. Peer evaluation means the evaluation done by the peers themselves or the learners themselves or the students themselves. So what is the incorrect statement about that? Means here you pay attention. Meant for criticism, fault finding. No, this peer evaluation is not meant for criticism and fault finding. Therefore this is wrong. This is the incorrect statement, and therefore this is only your answer. Okay, and primarily assigns grades. This is correct about peer evaluation. Therefore this is dropped. Offers improvement suggestions, this is correct about it, and therefore this is dropped. Provides insights for self growth, this is correct about peer evaluation, and therefore it is dropped. So second one, third one, fourth one are dropped, only this one is the correct one. That means this is only the incorrect statement about peer evaluation, because in the question he is asking you for incorrect statement. That is there. You go to the next question, 157th one. Choose the aspect which involves the systematic plan for achieving educational goals. What? Choose the aspect which involves the systematic plan for achieving educational goals. What is the aspect which involves the systematic plan for achieving educational goals? How can you achieve your educational goals? Not through methods, not through assessment, not through materials, but only through curriculum. Therefore, second one is your answer. And now you move on to other questions. 158th question. Educators engage in pre-active phase of teaching to. So generally the teachers, educator means the teachers engage in the pre-active phase of teaching. That means before teaching is called a pre-active phase, after teaching is post-active phase. So before teaching something in the class, that period is called pre-active phase. So what do the teachers do in that period? Means here you pay attention. Reflect on learning experience. Oh my God, it's not there. Analyze the learner performance. You have not even taken the class. How can you analyze the learner performance? How can you reflect on learning experiences? No. And here provide feedback? No. You have not even started your class. You have not even started your teaching. So before teaching, reflect on learning experiences will not be there. Analyzing learner performance will not be there. Providing feedback will not be there. But only identifying objectives and context will be there. Therefore, the third one is only your answer. And you go to the last but one question, 159th question. Select the term that refers to the unstressed vowel sound that often appears as a reduced vowel in connected speech. So what is that unstressed vowel that often appears as a reduced vowel? Is nothing but this one. Very short for example, that you find in about. About, you don't even pronounce that about. So that you don't fully pronounce that. That's why that's called unstressed vowel that often appears as a reduced vowel. What is that unstressed vowel called? What is the name given to that most unstressed vowel? Schwa. Not diphthong, not monophthong, not glottal. Diphthong means it's a vowel in which one vowel glides over the next vowel within the same syllable, very well. Monophthong means pure single vowel, and glottal means Oh. See, for example, when the vocal cords are brought together, when the sound is produced, that's called a glottal stop. Oh. How do you pronounce it? Oh, when these vocal cords are brought together, this sound will come out. So this is called glottal stop, whatever it is. So this why is the term that refers to the unstressed vowel, and diphthong, monophthong, glottal are not the right one. So your answer is the first one. Now you move on to the last question of this video. 160th question. Choose the plural word that ends with the za sound again. What is that plural word that ends with the za sound? Za, za, za. And here you pay attention. Caps, sakaram. Okay. Tubes, this is zakaram. Bots, okay. Bots, sakaram. Laughs, sakaram. So in the first one, sakaram. Caps, sakaram. Bots, sakaram. Laughs, sakaram. But in the word tubes, so this is there. Sakaram. So therefore your answer is the second one. Okay. With this, the second part of the video will come to an end. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hello, dear DSC candidates. Thank you so much for watching this second part of the video. I have taken a little bit more time in the preparation of this video because I want to give you the correct information with regard to the answers of these questions, because you might raise objections with your authorities concerned, and that is why I have just checked these answers once, twice, thrice. In spite of taking all these precautionary measures, if anything goes wrong, please make a mention of it in the comment section. Bring it to my notice. With the videos made on the TGT and PGT question papers, I shall be back to you. Until then, bye. See you, all of you. Right.